Hello, friends. Alex here from Entrepreneur, among other things. I hope you are enjoying this podcast. We're enjoying having you. If you're taking value from this podcast, the best thing you can do for us would be share the podcast with your friends, family, associates, or anyone else who you think might find some value. Also, if you don't mind, hit us with the like, hit us with the subscribe so you can stay up to date on everything that we're doing. And if you really, really want to contribute at a high level, we would love it if you could leave us a 5-star review on whatever platform you find the best. Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, we're on all of those. We would love to hear your feedback on there. We have a great episode today. Tech Tony, fantastic dude, super knowledgeable about all things digital marketing. And he just happened to tell me that before he got on air, hey, yeah, I do white hat hacking for the DoD. So I had to slow him down and say, hey, man, like you got to tell me about that. But everything that you might want to know about local Google search, Google Analytics, developing a business page for your company so that you can pop up in those organic searches. And if you do want to start running paid ads, the best methods to do it. So thank you very much for everyone out there listening. We hope you continue to support us. We're going to continue to do our best to keep giving you great content. Thanks. Tony, what's happening, brother?
Hey, Alex, good to see you, man. Thanks for having me on your show, buddy.
I appreciate it, man. You got a beautiful setup behind you. Tony, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, what you do currently? And I would love to go back because you just told me that you used to and still kind of are a white hat hacker for the DoD. So I feel like I got to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, so my name's Anthony Lloyd. I go by Tech Tony Online or Tony to my friends. The only people that call me my full first name is my mom and my ex-wife. So yeah, Tony will do just fine. By trade, my company's Pathfinder Digital Marketing. I am a search engine marketer by trade. So that means Bing and Google as well. When someone looks up your product or services, as you see, that's why I primarily build and maintain my clients. And we do offer other traditional marketing traditional services like website, all that fun stuff. But what separates me from everyone else is my agency is in the top 3% of digital marketing partners with Google in all of North America. So that I'm a marketer by day, and I do MMA fights at night.
I did not know that. Okay.
I've been told by my business coach I need to be more open about what I do in my personal life.
Dude,
So
I think that's badass. I just started Muay Thai I don't know, like 3 months ago, something like that.
I'm amateur. I'm 38. The chance of me going pro are very, very slim. I do one of the trainers that we have is Alex Riley. He is number 1 in the region and like number 3 in the nation for MMA. He's a great fighter. Definitely someone to look up. Alex Riley online to watch his fights.
That's
He is awesome as well. I'm a single dad, child to special needs child with Down syndrome, and I love skateboarding and being on the water on my free time. But yes, what you mentioned earlier, my first job since 2008-ish when I was in high school was I was a credibility contractor first with Triple Canopy. They no longer exist. They since changed to something else. And then I contract as a government contractor with the Department of Defense, and then another company called Shield Core Global. They are the largest Christian security force in the world as well. But my main income for there would be the Department of Defense. And yeah, I am a white hat ethical hacker. I've been doing that forever, which is weird. Go from ethical hacker to digital marketing. Believe it or not, the skill sets kind of spill a bit into each other. And so what we get to do is go to areas on assignments where we play little mini war games where we can hack government facilities or facilities of importance, banks, infrastructure, radios, things like anything that's important to infrastructure. You really get paid by games with the military to hack them, find holes, patch up the holes, and then do some training back and forth as well as to what to do if someone is trying to compromise the system, particularly.
You said 2008. So how did you get into that? Is that something you just like picked up on your own, like as a kid? You just went like, oh, I'm going to learn about these computer things. And then you're on forums reading, and that's how like it always is in the movies, right?
How old are you, Alex?
I'm 32.
Okay, so we're kind of, I'm 38, 32. We're kind of over the same era of AOL, chat forums. So I grew up, learning computer. I was a little kid having to build my own stuff. My dad is the construction guy. We have he's the largest owner. He owns the largest construction company in West Texas called McGoffin.
Hmm.
And I never really liked it. I liked computers and building my stuff. And so ever since I was little, I would in El Paso, Texas, back in the day, great public transportation system. And I would go down to downtown El Paso with my friends. And being a kid with an allowance, it was never enough to buy candy and soda pops all day, But I learned that the parking meters in downtown El Paso, they all had this funny little giant bolt in the back of them. And I figured, using my dad's tools, I machined a circular coin that fit in the back of that thing. I turned it and discovered when you unlock it, coins fall out.
Jeez.
And that started my career of
your career of crime starts there.
Compromising systems.
Whatever you want to call it, brother.
Compromising systems. Well, I like using the word hack. There's white hat, gray hat, and black hats. I consider myself a white hat.
So what you did after that was told the city of El Paso about this issue that they had.
I told them, I was like, hey, I know I'm like 8 years old. It's very interesting to be able to compromise a system. And the majority of the time, you'll see that people are the strongest and weakest form when it comes to compromise. Like, let's just say passwords, for example. If you have a strong password, great. If you're using that same strong password for everything, that's bad. Being compromised doesn't normally have something to do with fame or money. It's because Netflix had their system leaked, and your Netflix password happens to be a same combination password to your bank account. And because that hacker got bored, now they went ahead and just hacked your Facebook page just because they can.
So how do you counsel people to protect against that? I know I've had other people do cybersecurity that I've communicated with, and they just say, well, you just need a new password for everything. And I'm like, is that realistic? Because I'm stupid. I'm going to forget that password, man. If I have a custom password for everything, single login, there's no way I'm going to remember that.
Well, my clients that hire me for IT work, and I do have an IT division in my company as well, which you keep internally. We'll handle it for in-house clients. If you're a client with Pathfinder Digital Marketing and you want IT work to become a client with me as well, so it isn't something that's public. But we do use, and they're not a sponsor, LastPass.
I had LastPass. After the first cybersecurity guy I had on, I got real freaked out because he scared me, and I got LastPass, and then I just got super annoyed with it. I was like, it was popping up all the time on my computer, and I was like, I need to and I got rid of it. I just deleted it.
It is habit forming. The paperwork is pretty good. It takes like $100 a year, remember correctly. And it's annoying at first because you're sending it out. You're trying to remember what I have logged into. I normally let people, everyday people like you and me, like, hey, set up LastPass with a free account and just write down everything that's important. Like, okay, banking, Netflix, Facebook, mortgage loan, whatever the hell you're doing, whatever is specifically money oriented, set those up first immediately. Because you don't want people getting to your money. First of all, I don't give a crap if someone gets to my Facebook page. It's not going to be that bad of a disaster. It's going to suck because of my business. But if someone compromises my PlayStation Network account, I really don't care anymore. I'm not playing competitively anymore. But setting that up first, and getting in that habit of 14, 16, 20 character long passwords that you had LastPass create for you. And it's a paid feature, and LastPass will automatically go in and change those passwords, cycles through them every 4 months.
Oh, interesting.
Yes. Yeah. Because nobody, no matter how good you are, can prevent your system being compromised. Somehow, some way, somebody get a phone. We had a client of ours, their Facebook business page got compromised because the Facebook manager that they had a compromised app on their phone. And because of that app on their phone, the attacker was able to get into their Facebook business manager page and then control all of his client's account on Facebook.
Mm.
You never know where attack's going to be. So you're just making yourself a harder target, essentially. Putting up bigger walls, bigger guns, a bigger moat, making it as hard as possible. You ever watch Lord of the Rings when the battle started, when that one guy, that one orc with the explosive, what was it? It was Black Power. It was an explosive thing. He attacked, or they couldn't get to the wall, so that place has never been taken over. But they found out, Sauron found out that there was this one little area of where the water drained out. They shoved the explosive in there and it blew up, and there you go. This huge city, never been taken over for years, millions of years, or whatever it was, got compromised because of a drain in the wall. Then you never know where an attacker's going to come from. And like I said, it's nothing to do with fame or fortune or money. Something that does, like political figures, stars, actors, they get compromised all the time. There's deep fakes out there with the messages right now with AI and all that fun jazz. But just as an everyday person, setting up LastPass, remembering that one password is set for LastPass to make it difficult, and maybe sharing it with your spouse or significant other or parent or somebody in case you pass away, someone can log into your stuff. And setting a LastPass with the least important assets so that you make yourself a less desirable target.
What about like large systems like the government? How are most of those being compromised?
Well, last I was reading about some of those compromises is a lot of times it's a human being, it's someone internal.
A lot of user error.
User errors or very, very compromising, very convincing phishing email.
Yeah, we get a bunch of them. We get them all the time, like from my CFO that says like, "Hey, Alex, I need you to change the direct deposit for me," or something like that. But it's not my CFO, or it's not coming from me, or it's not coming from my COO to my CFO. And sometimes they're really good, like they're really, really close. Like they'll even go and get a domain that's very similar to our domain to try to get us.
Having a standard operating procedure where my lawyer and my accountant, sure, it's annoying, but they have to call me to get the two-factor authentication or the email password that's being sent to me so they can go into my bank account and do their accounting, whatever they need to do. Is it annoying? Yes. I have it set up at my cell phone provider that no changes whatsoever can be done on my cell phone unless I am there physically at a T-Mobile dealer, not one of those offshoots in the mall. No, an actual physical dealer with my ID. Yes, nothing can be done without that because my phone is my connection to everything. And so having process of that stuff, even with the bank, with the business internal, yes, I have a business partner. If one of us wants to open up a new account or spend money over a certain amount, we have to physically be at the bank to get that approved. And then our accountant has to approve that as well. Because they hear all the time money schemes. Poor grandma, I had a lady in our church that was just giving money away to, it wasn't one of those, you're a relative to a
Nigerian prince.
Yeah, Nigerian prince came, but it was someone like talking to her and she ended up giving this person a lot of money. And so it's just, are they a pain? Yes, they're a pain, but there are these steps put in your way to prevent something from happening because as many people as possible have to approve something before that actually gets completed. And they'll have those standard operating procedures internally in the company and then following them as well.
Yeah, I feel like that because of online communication and email, just the amount of spam is going up and up and up and up and up because these people can send tens of thousands of emails every day and that not really take them more effort. I'm sure they can just go onto the dark web and buy like 10,000 emails. And then they can just blast that same spam message out to that many people, and you just need to get one person to goof it up.
You need one person to make $1,000 off them, more likely, or even several $100 with zero to no effort at all. There's a website called haveibeenpwned.com. I don't know if you've heard of it. You can take your email, slap it in there, and it'll tell you if it's part of any compromised system, so you can go in there and change your password. It's very easy. It's free. It's 100% free service, Have I Been Pwned. Just slap in your emails, see what comes up, and it'll tell you, oh, your email has been part of a security breach that's on the dark web. Go in and change your email type of situation.
Well, you get emails like that all the time from Netflix or Capital One or your bank or something. They're like, "Hey, we're sorry. We had a data breach incident." And it's like, we can't tell you whether your data was on there, but it might be.
Here's the thing: when systems get compromised, the attacker has normally been in that system weeks, months in advance.
Right.
And then, as someone in my situation, when that happens, we will follow along and see how did they get in there, what are they getting into, what are they looking for.
I
So
see.
they can be in that system for a whole 6 months sometimes before it's public that we're like, hey, we've been compromised. Here's what we think happened, because we want to know who this is. Depending on the severity of the compromise, other government agencies will get involved, and we follow along what has happened. Where did they come from? What are they doing? Where are they getting into? What have they downloaded? If they use the virus, we'll try to get a copy of that virus and read it, because a lot of compromisers will signature their viruses. So we'll be like, oh, it came from Russia, China, or some fucking group up in Seattle, Texas, or something type of situation. And then being able to follow along, and then normally 8 months later, depending on the severity of it, what information the FBI, whatever, trying to gather, then you're going to get that email saying, hey, sorry, your information was possibly part of a data breach. And then take them seriously, and just, is that annoying? Yeah. Take them seriously, go in there, change it. Or in our case, like if you pay for LastPass, you can set it up. Ours minus 74 months. Everything in my LastPass vault changes.
So that on like a more sophisticated level, let's say Netflix gets hacked, how do you think most of the time that's occurring? Because that's probably a little more sophisticated than someone like clicked the wrong email, right?
It can be, or it can be. Sometimes an external issue of one server somewhere on Netflix just wasn't updated on time or properly. Like it could have been like I mentioned before with my client that got hacked through a third-party app on a third-party individual's phone. Simple as that could be compromised. We have people. I don't do this; not very good. It's plus it helps a little bit better for your girl. They do what's called social engineering, where they like some of these social engineers. They will literally create a whole LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram persona just to target one person in a facility to get information off of them that could be compromising.
Like what? What would be something that they're trying to seek out?
For example, now this is from third party. This would be research to understand that so much information I put a little wrong. But passwords such as like, who do you use to clean your facilities? If that janitor has an in-house key to your building, I could find those people and make a copy of your key, because they probably have a less secure system set up than you do. And that key is probably more compromisable in that situation. Does that make sense?
You would really want to get into a facility for like,
yeah, you really want to get into a facility. They will. Now, these are companies that kind of like mine, but I'm more I deal locally with small businesses teaching them this, because a small business losing their credit card information for their clients is just as severe and can be destroying to a small business, as opposed to Netflix being compromised and having to pay a fine. But a lot of it is things like that where these people have social engineering skill, which it blows my mind how the depth they'll go, the research. And it's not hard. Just go to LinkedIn, look up a company, and you'll see who is the company, and start backtracking and finding their Facebook, their Instagram, their Twitter. Are these people posting about being on a certain trip together for the company? Or are these people... There was one episode that I was listening to where a company was buying other businesses out, and it kept leaking that their businesses, a certain business being bought, and so people were gaming the market with their stocks. So they hired this young lady to figure out, hey, how is this information being leaked out? And it was being leaked out through job interviews, where she was like, hey, I understand that companies get bought and purchased. How secure is my job? And these interviewers would be like, well, I can't really say anything indirect, but, and that's how this information was accidentally, without intent to damage anything,
Mm.
they leaked out about what acquisitions this company could be acquiring there on the road.
And that was just like stock manipulation,
Yeah,
essentially.
and these, but it wasn't purpose. And these businesses were trying to sound more enticing to the job interviewer so that they would get her to work with them.
Right,
And
right.
the potential growth of, I can't confirm nor deny anything, but it was a simple train like that that could uh, that are valuable to the company is more than just client user data. Sometimes it's like, well, what can I get out of them that'll make me more valuable of a researcher, or what gives me back to the news type of situations. Like, we need to plug these holes up.
Mm. So how do you go about it? Is that secrets I can't know? Like, what is your strategy when you're being asked by the DoD to, hey, come in and try to break this system?
Well, a lot of times, so I do what's called digital pen testing, and I do it mostly remotely. I'm currently learning physical digital pen testing. What that means is some systems are not connected to an external Wi-Fi, which they shouldn't be. Like, for example, my company here, everything's online. So if I get compromised, it was either through an email or someone physically connected themselves to our service here at Pathfinder Digital Marketing, because customer data is extremely valuable, as we know. It's just as valuable as gold and oil. Anyways, so what we would do is these systems to find unsecure Wi-Fi that might be accidentally connected to an admin portal.
Mm. Okay.
So I said, I got right here in Dothan, Alabama, where I work. I'll walk around with my cell phone and my laptop just to find and pick up unsecure networks just to see what they're connected to. I'm not doing anything deviant, but I'm just like, people just leave their networks unsecured, or businesses will, when you connect to a public network, which you should never connect to your local coffee shop, go to your local coffee shop and support them. Don't connect to their Wi-Fi. Just don't.
Well, why not? What can happen?
Do you see where when you connect, where it says make my PC visible to others on the network?
I don't know. I don't really remember.
You need to pay attention next time you connect to a public network. First of all, I'll click no. And what happens is that people leave their PCs open to be discoverable. And by doing that, I can pretty much look at your files. I can pretty much look at your traffic. People, they don't use a VPN at the very minimum to protect themselves.
Okay, so I log on to the Wi-Fi at Tech Tony's coffee shop, and even though you have a password, like I have to walk in and punch in the password, I punch it in, and then I accidentally don't click to not make my PC discoverable. So what's happening? Like, how are you accessing that then?
Well, there's a couple different things that we can do. First of all, you do a phishing scan to you, and they can click on a link. I could leave charging cables out and about in a coffee shop, and as I'm picking this up, sorry for our viewers that listen to this on the podcast. These charging cables, never touch them in public, coffee shops, or at airports, because you can script code into these that acts like a keyboard. And as soon as you connect to it, I now have wireless access to your PC. And it thinks this is a keyboard, I can type in commands to it. So that's another thing that you can do when you're in a public space is use your own equipment, or if you need something new, don't buy it from the store. Don't borrow, no matter how much you love your friends, don't borrow their cables, because you don't know who's been compromised.
Interesting.
This one guy we talked to, he would walk around when he got hired. He would walk around at a police station, and he was dropping USB drives, and he was labeling private pictures or kids' vacation or just something.
Something that's gonna get you excited to be like, let's just check it out.
Yeah, just check it out. And here's the you plug it into your computer, and there's no pop-up or warning of, hey, you should connect this. No, there's what we call payloads on these hard drives that allow us now, you just compromise your computer. I can now remote access it from my hotel room. This one hacker I talked to, he compromised this business had a wireless smart coffee machine, and they didn't change the password, the default admin password to it. And so he compromised it and made the building's Wi-Fi think that that coffee maker was a router. And it was slow, but he was able to get traffic through that coffee machine and start compromising computers remotely as well. It's leaving, not changing the default passwords to your Ring unit or any security cameras you have in your house. A simple Google search can pull up hundreds of compromised cameras that you just click and look at, and it's literally people's bedrooms, garages, houses, and office space where they did not change the default password to their security system or their routers, and now you can get these passwords with a simple Google search. It's nothing special. I'm not doing anything special. Anybody with a 20 minutes on YouTube and a Google search can compromise the system within an hour.
So it's just a lot of like simple things but that makes sense that the hackers aren't like, they're not trying to do something insanely sophisticated when you can do a pretty low level thing just over and over, and eventually it'll work.
Eventually, that the one guy I was talking about, I was talking to him. The last job he did on the police station, he dumped out 20 of these SD drives, and they got 26 of them connected to 6 different devices in the police building. He was able to compromise it. Once he connected, he found that one of them was a sergeant's computer, and that computer had the highest level access that he was able to get to.
Yeah, Columbus, actually, the city just had a data breach. Interesting. I just searched it, and it says a murdered man's mother is worried about the Columbus data leak. Yeah, they basically leaked like addresses and such from police officers. They got somehow into the city of Columbus's database, and Columbus employees' personnel files were dumped onto the dark web Thursday morning after 2 auctions by the hackers that attacked the city failed to attract bids. I think they wanted like something like $10 million or something, and the city of Columbus was just like, we're not going to pay it. So cybersecurity experts watched the group's Onion site on the dark web. 6.5 terabytes the hackers claim to have has yet to be uploaded. The portion that made it online includes files from dozens of city employees' computers, as well as an SQL backup file. Massive size of the 250,000 files released means it's not readily apparent what it contains.
Yeah.
I think they just said like someone clicked the wrong thing. Honestly, they wanted 30 Bitcoins, around 1.7 million for the starting auction. Yeah, and that's like right now too. It was kind of a big deal.
What's interesting is
someone is dead. I don't know the details, but
there's actually special insurance for things like that, where
we have it at our company. Yeah, because they were like, this is happening a lot, and it's actually not that expensive. So if something happens, then you're covered. We actually had a mail fraud. This is not really like cyber, but we had someone. We were sending out checks. We don't do any longer, but we were sending out checks. Someone drove by, just stole our mail.
Yep.
That in and of itself, I'm not like that impressed by. Okay. But what became impressive was somehow they were able to print checks with our routing number on them, which I'm like thinking like, how did a bank accept this check? Like anytime you get a check, there's a lot of like security features in it, but clearly they did not have a real check. And they were able to print it out, and then they took my CFO's signature and like just copied and pasted it across. They didn't type it; they like did it digitally, and then they were just writing checks to like real people, like a Bill Smith, but they were just paying drug addicts. Like, hey, go in and cash this check in your name, and it's $2,500 check. We'll give you $250 if you get it cash. So, because I was like, well, how are these people not showing their IDs? And they were like, no, they showed their ID, like. But they just said that it was like a petty theft offense. It wasn't a felony as long as it didn't go over, I think, like $7,500 or something like that.
Yeah, on the state area,
yeah. The cops were like, basically, we can't do anything unless we can find the people who are organizing it and get them for racketeering. Now, our bank did pay us the money back, but they were like posturing like maybe they wouldn't at a certain point in time.
It, it's crazy, man. It blows. And here's the thing, like I am not top of the line. A lot like my trend digital marketer top of the line when it comes to stuff. There's so many people that can just they social engineer. They'll compromise a person, get information off of them, and then use that information to try to get to a computer or cell phone. Cell phones are at clubs. I don't know if you there was an incident. I want to say it was in New York. Yeah, never worked with this guy, but people he would talk to them. He was a criminal, and he would talk to really drunk people and be like, "Hey, do you guys want some weed? Yeah, I'll take PayPal." And he'll just watch them open their phone, type in their pass key, and steal the phone.
Oh,
And even if it's locked, he had the pass key memorized.
right.
Smart dude. And he was going in there and and I think he was able, he's like, yeah, within about 2 minutes, I can drain your bank account.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, well, shoot, you could probably just go into Venmo and Venmo yourself like money or Zelle yourself money. I'm sure there's a variety of different ways of doing it.
And here's the thing, Apple this year did release a patch for that issue, but once the update happens, you have to manually go in and turn on that security feature. Why Apple doesn't just automatically turn it on, I don't know. But you have to like know that this is an issue, know that this patch now on your phone, and then go in and manually turn the down. They not give you a little more protection. Like, come on, just automatically do it, Apple. You can do it. Just do that. Protect people.
Well, I want to transition to digital marketing, but is there any other like simple advice you can give to people to kind of keep themselves safe and out of these scams and data breaches and anything?
Passwords. Just use a password manager, knowing as it is, find one you like. We use LastPass. I've used it for years, and pay for it and set it up to automatically change your path. If you can afford $100 a year, set it up and have it just automatically set all your passwords, because you're just trying to make it's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of time. I hate to say it, but make yourself a harder target.
Well, think about it. Okay, let's say LastPass is $100 and you have it for the next 30 years. So that's $3,000. It's like, you really think like in the next 30 years you won't get scammed out of $3,000? Like, geez, like I don't know. I feel like there's a good to fair chance you could get scammed out of $3,000 in the next 30 years. And that's also like at today's technology. We're not understanding what it will be like in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 30 years.
That's today's tech. Yeah, exactly. Now we got AI and deep fakes. And I was talking to another compromiser. He was talking about how people are using straight up AI to imitate a grandchild's voice.
I heard that. Yeah.
To clear out a bank account, is kids in jail or something. So pick your situation. Like shit.
Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, because they can just go on like your Instagram, record your voice, plug it into an AI generator, and it'll sound just like you. Yeah, scary.
For free, mind you. They all have to spend money to do this shit.
Yeah, scary. Okay, man. Digital marketing. Tell me about your agency. I know you said that you focus a lot on a specific type of marketing, but you do a variety of things. Maybe just talk to me about that specificity.
So my agency's name is Pathfinder Digital Marketing. We've been in business for about 12 years, I believe now at this point. And so we are a search engine marketing company. That's what we specialize in. So when people search for your products, goods, or services on Google or Bing, because Bing is still relevant, those ads you see at the top of the search, I build and maintain those for my clients. And it's not just text-based search. We're talking about text, YouTube, and display, which are the top three, in the sense of what display ads are is, say you show interest in an item and you see that item kind of chase you around the internet for a bit. Those are called display ads.
Not like remarketing or retargeting?
Retargeting, yeah. So if you showed interest in a camper on their website, but you didn't buy, and now you're reading a TripAdvisor blog and you see that camper show up in the ad, show up in the blog, that's called marketing. Those are all Google ads. And what's really cool is that Google is moving away mainly from search-based intent ads. So like when someone types something to Google and hit enter, more into audience-based targeting ads, audience-based targeting, which can only be done when your website, first of all, is built properly to receive the traffic, and then the tracking is correctly implemented on your website to collect that data.
Okay, well, let's start with the top of search. So let's say I'm trying to sell microphones. I own a microphone company. God only knows how I started a small microphone company, but I want to appear for top of search when someone searches like microphones for podcasters. How does that fundamentally work on Google? Like, what am I doing? What ads am I placing? What does my website need to be prepared for that? Maybe just talk me through that.
Yeah, that's a lot. So I might go off a tangent. If I do, please bring me back in as well. So first of all, when you run an ad, you're going basically understand it is a two-way road. I'm going, as your marketer, if you hire me, specifically in my agency, I'm going to need pictures and images from you to be able to market your product. Because lately, if you pay attention to Google search, you're going to see a lot of pictures showing up. There's also a lot of video that's going to show up as well. So if you're not making content for your products, good or services, or your small business, can I still run ads for you? Sure. Are they going to be as successful? No. So first thing first, that is to be set up right. If you have an e-commerce store, it sounds like what you're showing me microphones too well, you're going to want to set up what's called Google Merchant Center. If you're running search for anything that's a physical product, or like cars, trucks, microphones, you're going to see, more likely, you're going to see at the very top these rectangular ads that have a picture and description information. It could be, is it local? It could be free shipping. It could be the pricing, price reduction, whatever it be. And then the images on there, that's called Google Merchant Center. Those, your inventory, I should say, your product can show up for free and then paid as well in those areas. So it's a double hook for you. And any business that is selling products, not using Merchant Center, you're leaving a lot of money on the table. Because there's so much you do in Merchant Center ads. And when it's set up properly, they maintain your inventory. So as product comes in or out, your ad will update with that. New inventory that comes in, your ad will update with that as well. Or you go as customized as you want to be, and then heavily have very specifics that you want to market anyways. So having those assets, you can't do either one if you don't have content. So if you're listening to this, you have a Shopify store, make content for yourself and have some good pictures of your product. You'll thank me later.
And so, presumably that Merchant Center is pretty easy to set up through Shopify.
Yes and no. I say that because Merchant Center just did the full upgrade revamp in August, and they just finished it at the end of August as well. They obviously did integrated AI video into it as well. Yes, to a degree, it's easy to set up, but one of our services is setting up and maintaining a Merchant Center account in the sense of make sure your product's up to date, depending on who you're targeting, rules and regulations of that product, proper collection of data as well. Are you targeting outside the US? Are you targeting Canada? All these businesses have to have your business has to abide by all the regulations that every industry has when it comes to collecting information. And it sounds like a lot is the pain, yes. But like I said, you're not taking up that space that your product has the right to show up for when it comes to it. Google Ads, when a business runs Google Ads, at the end of the day, you're paying for it. At the end of the day, yes, you want the phone to ring and you want the product to go out the door. Your mics go out the door. What you're paying for is data. How did people find me? What did they do on my website? What didn't they do on my website? More importantly, and then how can I retarget them? Because there's a section in Google Analytics. It's called attribution. And I have a couple of videos on my YouTube channel to talk in very detail about attribution path. What they are essentially is what event and platform did somebody first find me? So let's just say they ran across your product on the unpaid post on Facebook and then decided to click and integrate and decided to click and interact with it.
Yep.
And look at your product, probably follow you online on Facebook. So, and then let's just say 3 days later, someone conducts a search on Google for best mics, best podcast mics, or top 10 podcast mics I want. Depending on the search will determine is this something I want to show up for or not. If someone types in blog about top 10 podcast mics, because that term blog is in there, you probably don't want to show up and waste your money on the URL click like that.
Right.
But it's attribution pattern following along. They found me on Facebook, then they found me, then I retargeted to them on Instagram. And then 3 days later, they conducted these searches, understanding the time period it takes for someone to purchase from me in this case, and how many touch points does it take for that person to buy from me. And by looking at that type of data, it's so valuable. It can show us your paid efforts and your organic efforts, and then anywhere you could possibly be missing out on. Like a lot of businesses forget to use Pinterest, for example. Pinterest is a non-branded search platform, which means if someone searches for men's size 10 red shoes, if you do that in Google, you're going to get Nike, you're going to get Adidas. A small business isn't going to have as good of a chance to show up as against a search conducted on Pinterest. And the majority of users on Pinterest have a median household income of $165,000 a year. That's your client right there.
Yeah.
And Pinterest, unlike Facebook, they don't penalize you for users leaving the platform. Remember, Facebook will penalize a business if users leave the platform. You never put never put links in the description, put them in the comments. Anyways, so by using Google Analytics, by running Google Ads with proper tracking analytics, we can see what tasks people are taking that are the most fruitful for a client, and where are we missing out on possible traffic? Should we be on Pinterest? Should we be posting heavier on TikTok? Should we be do we need to update our merchant center with better pictures or whatnot type of information? It's, at the end of the day, you're paying for data, and that data ends up resulting in people buying your product, or the phone ringing, or filled for whatever it may be. As someone who produces mics, you might have your own article about top 10 mics, and then in that blog, people can download a free PDF and get your email. And now we can email market to them. And then Google Ads will also show up in their email. On Gmail, you may have seen, if you're on your Gmail, you see ads show up on your Gmail.
Yeah,
that's where that comes from, and they should be relevant to your personal search history or other products you have exposed yourself to.
Yeah, those are annoying. I wish that I didn't get those ads in my Gmail, but
they should ads. Yes, they're annoying, but they shouldn't be annoying. What I mean by that, I have a video on a YouTube channel that talks about how to clean out your Facebook ad, how to clean out your Google ad, so you have a better ad experience. So you're actually getting ads, the things that actually interest you, or you might be interested in purchasing down the road type of situation.
Yeah, I get ads from like Toyota in my Gmail, and I'm like, and they're not the ones that like you received. It's like Google just forced it into your inbox, and I'm like, I am not going to buy a Toyota Tacoma. Like, you guys are the wrong guy. Like, I'm sure it's a great truck, but it's not something I'm going to do.
Yeah, Google has, so Facebook has, I believe, I don't know if there's no correct, I think it's 35,000 touch points per individual on their platform, where Google has 24 million touch points per person. That's how, like, a lot of people, they say, well, I was just talking about it and now it's showing up in my feed or whatever. There's a lot that goes into it, but I promise you, unless it's Amazon, because they're going through a lawsuit about recording your conversations, I'll tell you.
The Alexa thing.
Yeah, that's fun. We'll see what happens there. But it's your search habits. It's what you're doing online that dictate. Well, Tony, it took a while for example, with my divorce, it took a while for my algorithm to figure out I'm single now type of situation. So it would start serving me ads that you expect a single male type of situation. It's having a healthier, better ad experience. And it does take some effort to clean out your ads, especially Facebook, to make it very hard to do. And I hate Facebook. And you got to remember, Facebook doesn't give a crap about your business. Google does, or Facebook is pay to play. Business really got to realize that. When it comes to Facebook, when you post online, Facebook is, it's impulsive. No one goes to Facebook to buy anything.
Right.
They go to Facebook to look at pictures of weddings, cats, and memes type of situation. Where Google or Bing, it's an intent. I need a plumber. I need a mic. I need a wedding photographer. Type of situation. Wherever they need, those searches are intent. Where Facebook is, it's impulse. Oh, I see that microphone. I like it. It glows blue like I like. I've been researching this for a while. Now I'm going to buy it. And I bought also good Instagram and TikTok ads where whoever did those ads did a good job and they're retargeting at the right time where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy this product. In fact, I just had my birthday and I wanted to get myself a nice genuine leather wallet. And for those of you listening on the podcast, I'm sorry you cannot see my nice wallet, but I've always wanted a genuine leather wallet. And I was conducting searches. I got hit at the right time for my birthday. I was like, this is what I want. And I bought it.
There you go. So you said something that Facebook doesn't care about your business, but Google does. You got to tell me, define the differences between those two.
So if I remember right, NTV is the largest Facebook page on Facebook currently. They have millions and millions of users. And the engagement rate on a post for Facebook, if you post something on Facebook, regardless how many followers you have, the average engagement rate is going to be less than 2%.
Yeah, they changed that like, I don't know, maybe like 10 years ago now. That it used to be, if you had 2,000 followers on your page and you posted, it would post all 2,000. But that's not the case any longer.
It's not. And so in order for your post just to be seen by your current followers, much as someone new to discover your product or your business, you have to pay for it.
Right.
And when we pay for Facebook ads, you're paying for the impression. And what an impression is, someone saw your Facebook post or your ad. They just looked at it. They didn't click on it. They didn't follow you. They didn't buy it. They just looked at it. You get charged for that.
Yeah, they could have scrolled past it at like hyperspeed, right?
Yes. Scroll past it at hyperspeed. Get what you just spent $1 or whatever how they may admit. And then if they engage with the post, you're being charged for that too. On Google, so if you run an ad on Facebook, you are paying for every little bit of an engagement, from just looking at it to looking at it and clicking on it, then engaging, all that fun stuff going through. You're paying for that engagement.
I did not know that. Whereas Amazon, it's pay-per-click. People can scroll past your ad and you get that for free.
Same exact thing with Facebook. I think that thing with Google. Google does not charge for your impression. That's what's called PPC, pay-per-click. You're only paying for the click.
Yeah, which sometimes it's almost it's not the worst thing. It's not the worst thing if someone sees your ad and they don't click it, because you're like, well, we kind of we're getting a little bit of free advertising.
Yeah, brand awareness, and some ads are designed for that for new businesses. We had a company. They were an entertainment venue. And they wanted right out the gate, they wanted to run Google Ads. I was like, we can't run Google Ads for you guys. Like, why not? Because there's no brand awareness. You're a brand new business, a brand new entertainment venue that this area has never had. People don't even really exist. So what did we do? We went to Facebook. We posted heavily on there. And then we did run some TV ads. And then I ran remarketing ads because Facebook and Google, when set up properly, they'll communicate with each other. Tony dealt with Alex's mics on Facebook page just to say, even if it wasn't a paid post, I just engaged with all of you. 3 weeks later, I conduct a search for your product. Facebook's going to tell Google, hey, Tony has engaged with this company, Alex's podcast mic. He's not conducting a search relevant to his business. Serve him up this ad. And the beautiful thing about digital marketing is the ads on any platform, really, the ads are not stagnant. It's not like a radio, TV, or billboard, the same damn thing over and over again. You design the ads on new users, return users, remarketing, and then we go as far as 90-day remarketing, 100-day, 300-day remarketing ads. Depending on where they're at, make that ad extremely customized to the user's intent. And with my client, that's what we did. They generated the brand awareness, the brand search through TV, billboard ad, and posting. a hell of a lot on Facebook to gain followers. And then where people were conducting sort of like entertainment near me, things to do on Friday night in Milton, Alabama, stuff like that, then they were remarketed with a customized branding ad. And that's all it was. It was strictly a branding ad. We didn't care if they clicked on it or not. We wanted them to know this new form of entertainment in their local area existed.
Interesting. So you've clearly decided Google's kind of your home base with.
Yes.
Is that fair to say?
Definitely. My agency, I think I mentioned earlier, a lot of marketers will stick to just dentists or realtors or bankruptcy lawyers, things like that, whatever it may be. Nothing against them. I know some pretty good guys in those areas. But my business, we decided to mainly work with small businesses that don't. The internet is a black box to businesses. Businesses know I have to use the internet. Nobody taught them how to use the internet properly. They just blindly post to Facebook, which is, I guess, okay if that's all you can afford, but you want to post with an intent. If I post this to Facebook, what is the purpose of this post? Whether it's paid or it's an organic post. If you go to my Facebook page, a lot of it is educational content. I'm not calling people out to come hire me or get me a free 30-day consultation. I mention it every once in a while, but the majority of it is it's educational content. That's what people do to realize this. So when it comes down to it, it's having an understanding. My agency is helping small to medium-sized businesses having a core understanding of what they need to do online when it comes to buying a URL, building a website, and then setting up Google Analytics properly. Even if it's just the basic setup, which is also FTC regulated. So the Federal Trade Commission requires you to do this anyway, so you might as well do it properly. Properly collect the data. And the sad thing is a lot of businesses, they just set and forget. Their website is the same damn website set up like 5 years ago, which Google doesn't like. Facebook doesn't like it either. Their Google My Business listing is not maintained. They have 0 reviews, and they're wondering, well, why can't they get... I tell business, when your website, when your online presence, it works properly, it does something magical. It makes you money. And a lot of business owners, they just set and forget their website. They set and forget their Google My Business list, and they set and forget their whatever it may be. And then they're just posting hyperly on Facebook, hoping for something to happen. And here's the thing. Facebook knows this. This is why they don't care about businesses. They will give you just enough to keep just a couple of days a week type of situation. The blue, for all your business owners listening, the blue boost button on Facebook, us marketers call that the demon button. Don't hit that. They're just blindly hitting that button, and they're $5, $10, $500 later down the road. They got nothing from it because the marketing in the back end is not set up properly. They don't know, well, if I spend $10, what am I supposed to get back on this? Or if I post, what's the purpose of this post? What am I doing to build my brand awareness, build my brand trust, which eventually leads people to use my business or buy from me or service or whatever it may be.
So someone out there listening right now, they're a business owner and they're probably going, yep, Tony's got me. Like, I don't really understand this stuff. He's right. I've updated my website like a couple of times in the last few years. My Google listing, I have it set up, but I haven't really been messing with it a lot. Maybe just talk me through where do you want these people to start? And maybe it's different for a small local business versus a small digital business versus a product-based business. But give me the foundational steps. What are the things that I need to do ASAP that are going to get me into the ball game?
So Google understands that the majority of Google's income, the trillions of dollars, comes from small businesses. The U.S. government advertises on Google. Facebook advertises on Google. Walmart advertises on Google. But when it comes down to it, they know the small business, they don't have the income to blow that Walmart does. And that's the majority of I think it's 87% of Google's trillions of dollars comes from small local businesses. The number one spot that 98% of businesses don't use properly is Google My Business, aka Google Maps. They're calling it now the Business Profile Manager, and next week they'll probably change the name of it again. It's the map. When I type into Google search or Google Maps on my cell phone specifically, because it's a minimum of 6 to 8% of your traffic is going to come from a mobile device.
Mm-hmm.
If I type that, your product or your service or the name of your company, do you show up on Google? Step one, control that listing. Because what I mean by that is you don't have to be a business with a physical location like I do right now. When I started my business, I didn't have one. It's a myth that you have to have an office space to show up on Google Maps. You don't. A lot of my clients are plumbers, electricians, and HVACs. They work out of a car and they park that thing in the garage type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are a business, there's a 99% chance that you need to control the Google My Business listing, because if you're conducting business, Google will kind of guess who you are and they'll automatically create a listing for you. Or if someone is what are they called now? A local guide, because Google will rank people that leave reviews on Google. It's an interesting situation.
Yeah.
They will ask you, hey, you were just in this building. What were you in there for? And they'll be, oh, I was in there for Mike's Plumbing. Oh, so they're in that building. And now a listing has been created. So as a business, go in there and either create your listing or control the map listing, because that is the most. I have businesses that rank that the majority of their income comes from Google Maps, just them showing up properly. No paid ads. They're paying me to maintain it, but no paid ads, none of that. It's just properly maintained listing. That means proper business name. Don't go in that business and type in Alexander's podcasting like for podcasters on the internet with that's not your business name. Your business name is Alexander's Mike, whatever it may be, TikTok, Pathfinder Digital Marketing, right?
So even if I am a online sales company, I need
Don't do that. Don't be keyword stuffing your name.
No, but I'm saying like if I'm selling podcasts Mike's online, like I don't have a store, you're 100 miles away from my store, 1,000 miles away. I still need to set up.
You get a live one.
Okay.
You get a live one.
What if you're something as simple as like a digital service, like a podcast? Does Alex's podcast, does Entrepreneur, among other things, need to have like this Google listing?
You could have, yes, you can create one for your business.
Would it be beneficial?
Yes, it will be. Because now that you want to be able to show up for search terms that you have the right to show up. And businesses, if someone is searching for, on Pathfinders and Marketing, our podcasts are connected to our Google My Business profile. If you scroll down, you're going to see our LinkedIn page, you're going to see Twitter, you're going to see Shopify, Spotify. You're going to see everything, every asset that Pathfinders and Marketing is connected to. That's a form of offsite SEO. You're building your citation listing on everything that your company has to do with. That's not your website.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to show up on that proper business name, phone number, business hours. I can't tell you how many times I go to a business to give them my money and they're randomly closed, but online it says they're open. Very frustrating.
That happened to me yesterday. They open until 3:00. I got there at 12:50. They're like, we're not taking any more guests because we actually close at 2 today and we have a long wait list. I was like, well, your Google said you close at 3. And 1 hour, but it led to a bad experience for me.
Exactly. It's a bad experience. And just controlling that and fixing those and making sure what's called your primary product category is properly listed. That's the number one thing you're going to start ranking for. That's step one. Businesses need to realize the number one ranking factor for Google My Business is distance conducted from the search. So you mentioned like your podcasting store, your physical location, wherever you're based at. If someone on the opposite side of the country conducting a search for podcasting mics, you're probably not going to show up, but you still should have the right to be able to show up if that search is conducted within your area.
Okay.
Types of situation. Really powerful for small businesses because, first of all, this is free. Everything I'm telling you, this platform is 100% free. It just takes the time for you to sit down and kind of have an understanding of it, but click the buttons, go through and see what's relevant to you. Are you a veteran-owned business? Are you a women-ran business? Are you, your products, goods, and services? Are you listing all of your products which can show up on Google My Business and show, hey, I have it in stock now. You can buy it now, or if you haven't have a physical location, you can come in, walk in the store, and grab it right now. That situation. It gives small businesses these listings. Since you're a small business, let's just say your podcasting company shows up next to Walmart and you set up Google My Business property and you got your merchant center up and running, it'll give you a nice highlighted small local business. Walmart's not going to get those extra perks. You are as the biz taking the time to set this up, and it's been a game changer for the majority of my clients. Like, I have clients in the mattress economy. If you look down our mattress stores, freaking everywhere. But the ones that take the time to have the website properly set up, the merchant center set up, and then their Google My Business thing running effectively, they get all those beautiful free perks, and they're just going to rank above their competitors organically. And when your outline assets are set up properly, if you're running Google Ads, you're going to pay less per click. And Google has said that proper online assets, when running Google Ads, the cost per click can be an additional 35% lower as opposed to your national or other local competitors that are just throwing money out there. That 35% lower adds up for a lot of my clients that have smaller budgets.
Okay, so set up my Google page, my local Google search page. What would be the next thing that you would want someone to start looking after, whether they're an online business or they're a local business?
Your website.
Okay.
Your website needs to change. It needs to be ever evolving. A minimum 80 to 85% change every year. Google likes to call websites that are active.
80 to 85% per year.
Per year changed. Yes.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. It's a lot of effort. If you want that free sweet organic traffic that every SEO specialist is talking about there, you're going to have to put effort into your website. You're going to have to blog once a week on your website. Is it easy? No, but people want that free traffic. They want to just show up organically and get leads or build their email list. Well, you're going to have to show Google you're going to show Google that you are an active online business. Let me backtrack a little bit here. When you get reviews on Google, if you go in there and start replying to all your reviews, Google will help start ranking you higher above your competitors that don't go in there and reply to reviews, whether it's a 1-star or a 5-star review. They will see that you are an active online business. You're actively trying to put your business out there online without running ads money. None of this is paid ad. It's all free. It will help rank you higher in the search engine for more relevant searches because you're training Google. Hey, this is what I have. This is what I want to show up to. Because I'm collecting data, I now know that this is the type of clientele I want to target. I want people that are male, that show an entrepreneur lifestyle, that make $65,000 a year or more. That's the type of person I want organically to show up to and get leads. Is have people buy from me type of situation.
So when you say blogging or changing your website, blogging, that makes sense to me that I could do that once a week, once a month, whatever frequency feels right. But website 80 to 85%, I mean, that sounds like a ton of effort. Not only that, but costs. I might have to pay somebody to help change that.
It's an effort. You're 100% correct. But when it's done properly, it will pay dividends out. At the end of the day, it will help your business show up online because Google sees, oh, this is an active online company. It should just be like every time you walk into Walmart, the front of the store changes a lot.
Yeah.
Same situation. Websites need to be maintained. They need to be kept up.
So
forget them.
What are the changes that you recommend people make? Like, I'm just thinking about Mix Solutions' website. Like, it's most pictures and text is all it is, really. It's an information website. There's no purchasing, really.
Some of the changes you're going to implement will dictate what's collected on your Google Analytics. Okay. For example, our desktop traffic had increased around 20%, catching up to our mobile traffic. And because a lot of our clients or leads that we're getting are business owners sitting at a desktop Googling stuff. It's not so much our mobile platform, our mobile version of the website. So we started immediately altering the desktop experience to make sure people have a better experience. We found out that people are not staying the amount of time that we'd like on our website. So just recently, we implemented a video that's instructional to every part of our website. So the homepage of Pathfinder Digital Marketing has a video of me welcoming you to Pathfinder Digital Marketing and giving you a rundown explanation of the services we offer and why you should hire us. The Google Ads section of our website also has a video that explains to you a little bit about what to expect when you hire us as an agency, and so on and so forth. Even our, I just finished these last 2 videos, our contact us page, and then when you fill out the form and hit enter, you're going to get another video thanking you for filling out the form, and if you want to reach out to us quicker or make sure you text us that information. I just recorded these 2 last videos, so they're not up on the website yet, but it's changing the engagements. And we are now tracking how long these people are going to sit there and watch the video. And if they don't finish the whole video, well, guess what? I'm going to go back and remake the video, make it shorter. I need to go horizontal. I need to do a vertical video. What works best so we get the type of engagement and the client on our website is that we're kind of filtering out the tire pictures, because not everyone can afford me. And we know that we don't want everyone to be able to afford it. We couldn't take on that type of workload. But I even say in my videos, if you can't afford us, please feel free to follow us on our social media platforms, where I am constantly giving away educational free content that's 100% free. There's no paywall for our content, and everything I teach small businesses is things that they can immediately implement into their business that day to help them online, so they have a better understanding. A lot of our clients, I just got a lead yesterday. This individual, they're a real estate company that's been following me for 3 months on TikTok. And they originally found me based off a Google search. And he was like, yeah, I couldn't afford our services at the time. We're a brand new real estate company, but we start following you on TikTok. We've been implementing what you've been telling us, and now we're at a point where we feel like we can hire you. Oh, there we go. Type of trend. It's putting, like I said, it's putting forth that effort. When you do digital marketing as a business owner, 2 things. It's a 2-way road. If you give me, if you hire an agency, or if you do it yourself, if you implement content with your website, with your Google My Business, if you remember on Google My Business, you can upload videos as well. It's free. Upload your videos, and then remember, you are collecting data. So at the end, you're getting that set. Businesses that understand that and implement those tactics into their company, they will start seeing dividends pay off.
Interesting. Okay. Work the website. Make sure it's changing, it's updating, you're putting content out there. You got your Google page set up. What's my next piece of the puzzle?
Google Analytics. This is the end all be all of tracking. If you talk to the majority of marketers and you say, hey, what do you use to track your clients and activities online? It's Google Analytics. It's more than just your website. It's collecting data from Facebook. It's collecting data from Instagram. And sure, Facebook, Business Manager, Meta, whatever they're calling it nowadays, you can log into that and just get the Facebook picture. But where's the rest of it? It's in analytics. You go look at Google Analytics. You go look at Google Analytics and you see, if I have calls to action on every fold on my website, how far down are people scrolling on my page? Sometimes we've had businesses that it's just as simple as, hey, let's change the call to action button on your website from blue to orange. And all of a sudden we're getting more conversions. The orange button now. That type of situation, depending on the colors or the theme of the website that we built. How long are people staying on our website? Why are they leaving our website too quickly? How long does it take us? How long does it take the business to get a user back? You got to remember, if a website takes too long to load, I think the rule of thumb is 5 seconds. Every second it takes your website to load, it's a 25% less chance that you get that person as a lead. So how fast is your page loading? Is it properly, when it loads quick enough, what's called a first contextual? A first contextual means how fast do I see the first image of your website? Doesn't necessarily mean the whole website's loaded. It's how fast do I see something on your website? And good rule of thumb is less than 1 second, and you want your full website to load within 2 seconds, if not faster. That's the situation. And that understanding the analytics, and more importantly, having someone that can read the analytics and then apply the changes required so your website acts better or functions better, will lead us to being able to understand, what do I need to get leads? We have an IT company. They do mainly cell phone repairs, and their website is, we use their analytics to customize the user experience depending on which device they're on. Their website is customized to certain desktops, to the browser, and then the device is an iPhone 9, 10, 11, 12. Is the Android? Is the Android full? What are people looking at on the website? And then if they're there, how can we customize that mobile experience so they see that they have a good experience on the website and reach out to us to fix their streams?
So they have a different website if you're Apple versus Android versus new Apple versus old Apple, desktop,
Yes.
Mozilla, Firefox, Internet Explorer.
Yes. Different website, different verbiage, different user experience, because that style of customization leads to people becoming clients and fixing their phones, fixing their screens, and whatever, fixing a speaker, whatever the hell it may be.
As far as Google Analytics go, you just said you have to have somebody who knows how to read them. That's kind of where I am. Like, we have a website for Mixed Solutions. It's a beautiful website, looks really nice. We don't get leads through there. That's just not like part of how our business works. Would it be nice to have some leads through there? Sure. We have pretty much as much business as we can handle. Yes.
Good.
Do I want to get a bunch of like low quality leads? No. Do I want to get a bunch of multi-million-dollar leads? Yeah, of course. So I don't really look at Google Analytics at all. But if I began to, what are the things that I need to start thinking about when I scroll through there? Because it looks like crazy numbers of data to me at this point.
You can definitely get data fatigue. I get it from looking at analytics all day. Sometimes I now like just walk up to my computer, stare at something else that's not a screen or data flashing across my face. The best path I will look at is your attribution models. It says it right there, attribution path on your GA4 dashboard. It's not hard to find. And on the upper right-hand corner, adjust the time frame. And it's, I want to see the visitor in the last 90, 100 days, a year a day. You can really customize that chart. Don't get overwhelmed by what you're going to see. When you look at the chart, when you go to attribution path and you mimic and you work on the time frame that you want, at the top, you're going to get a bar chart. You don't really need to pay attention to that one too much. When you want to use a chart beneath it, you're going to see a color-coded sequence of platforms. Now, every platform pretty much reports to Google Analytics. But if you want full pictures, every platform has their own tracking system. Like Facebook has Facebook Pixel. You need to make sure it's on your website. Whether you're paying for Facebook ads or you're not, put the damn thing on your website. And they'll give you that proper reporting, so you'll see all of your efforts or none of your efforts, and just kind of see how you're just showing up in general. And you can view like, people have found us first through an organic search, and then they see us on Instagram, and then they might download a PDF, free PDF on our website, whatever those events may be. You're going to want to, one of the biggest things is having our clients understand the difference between an event and a conversion. And an event can be a conversion. But for example, we have a law firm here. They want people to download their PDF file about this national lawsuit. That doesn't necessarily mean that person is converting to hire that lawyer, but it's an event. Because now we have their information, we know what they're interested in, and we can start marketing to them. So I don't know if on your company website you might have a free PDF or a top 10 secrets, things like that. We've all seen those type of hooks.
Yep.
That's an event. It doesn't necessarily mean it's money in my pocket, but it means I now have an audience built out. I can look at Google see what works or doesn't work, and where can I put my organic efforts to get those higher paying clients? Do I need to pay attention more to LinkedIn? Am I getting some of those better messages on Instagram? I'm missing out on that possible cash flow, whatever it may be, so that you start building out what's called your proper audience. And then once we have an audience built out, that's where the real magic happens. And you start creating more valuable data into your website. Be like, you know what, this blog post that we made 2 months ago got 2,000 impressions and they downloaded our PDF 500 times, whatever it may be. I want to mimic that traffic. So it's going to maybe refresh that blog or a part 2, whatever it may be, to get that attention. A lot of times with businesses like me, I talk to business like yours, that, hey, we're at a good spot right now. We just want to make sure our well doesn't dry up. Little changes like that to build the customer base where they're just continually touch pointing their potential leads. So when we are able to grow and take on more work, we already have a pool to dip into, and we don't have to put as much effort into just all of a sudden we got to do a $5,000 per month Google Ads campaign. No, we got to do that. We have an email list of 100,000 people that fit the audience that we want. Now we can advertise that email list, which is most of the time cheaper than Google Ads or Facebook ads.
It sounds like a lot of what the analytics are going to show you is who the appropriate customer is and where they come from.
Or what isn't the appropriate customer for you? Why am I getting these tire kickers? Oh, they're coming from this. They're coming from Instagram Reels. Yeah, that maybe we shouldn't be posting too much on Instagram Reels. That maybe switch over to YouTube or something.
That's fascinating.
Yeah, through our own company data, we found out that the majority of our leads, a lot of people follow me because we have clients in 14 different countries. So I have clients in the UK. I don't run ads in the UK. I don't run billboard, TV, radio ads, or anything like that in the UK. And I asked them, how did you hear about me? Like, well, we follow you on YouTube and we've implemented your strategies. And now we're just at a point where we can't handle it anymore. Can you just maintain it for us? And what's really nice is that those type of clients pay the most and complain the least. Which are my favorite type of client. They pay on time. So now we know, okay, Tony needs to put more effort into YouTube and YouTube Shorts, and then we'll put more effort to LinkedIn because my second in charge has been getting some great leads off of LinkedIn just by posting informative articles.
So you can kind of see where the bang for your buck is going to come from. So that you don't do scattershot marketing and you're like, I post on TikTok and Snapchat and LinkedIn and YouTube and you can just go, hey, let's post on those, but let's really pay attention and do great content for LinkedIn and great content for YouTube.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's actually what led me to be on your podcast. So we're trying to get leads off my podcast. And so my second in charge, part of my job in the company is being on podcasts, giving more public speeches. And that's how I kind of ended up with you. That's because we found out through these efforts, we're getting some pretty good clients.
Hell yeah.
So I wanted you to do more podcasts.
Well, then let's dwell on that for a second. Talk to me about this podcast. If we switched places and you're Alex and now you have this podcast, what kind of things are you going to be doing or thinking about to try to grow this podcast? Because I want to help as many people as I can, but I can only help as many people as I get in front of.
Well, Tony is learning to be more social. So
you and me both, brother. You and me both.
I'm a nerd and an introvert at heart. So
I think for me, sorry to interrupt you there, but I think for me, it's almost just a little bit of imposter syndrome still. Like, well, why would someone listen to me instead of they could listen to Grant Cardone or, Lex Friedman or Tim Ferriss. Like these guys have done more than me, but I also then go, okay, well, you've done $150 million in sales through Amazon. You have 37 employees. You have a dang near 5,000 square foot facility going to be built. Like, okay, you've done something, Alex. And also, that may not be the content that this person needs at the moment. Like, they may not need Grant Cardone right now. They may need Alex because they're like on step 0. And Grant Cardone's teaching you how to buy a 100-plex apartment. Like that, I'm not there yet. Like, let's go down a step.
That's exactly why I do it, because as it blows my mind when I'm posting online or specifically like on YouTube and watching my channel grow, I'm like, who's listening to this?
Yeah.
And then I get a call from a real estate company in Germany. They're like, "Yeah, we followed you on YouTube for last 6 months. Can you just do it for us?" Like, okay.
That's great, man.
So I have been working on my besides being the face of the company and the name of the company, I love educating businesses. And so what I'm doing with my podcast, newsletter, blogs, TikTok, my YouTube channel is educating businesses so they have a good understanding of what to expect when they're working with their online assets. My online assets, I mean your website, your Google My Business, and your Facebook, specifically when it comes to Google Ads. Because small business, big businesses, something my mentor made me remember is whenever a company runs ads, you are the differentiator. If they're able to keep their doors open next month, or hire people, or keep those people hired, or give them a Christmas bonus. A lot of marketers forget that, and they're just worried about closing sales, and being a quote. But we don't do that here in our company. So it's an free educational content where I enjoy teaching small businesses about their online assets, the importance of it, and then free to fairly inexpensive tactics that they can implement the day of they listen to me or the first YouTube video that they watch, so that they have a better understanding of where they could put their efforts in. Because as a business owner, I keep saying paid or organic. Everything you do as a business owner is paid. But time is money. You are spending money on whatever the hell you're doing. Listening to me talk, you and me talk. It's time. They're spending that time to listen to us. So I want to make sure when I teach businesses, or if I was you educating businesses on how to use online assets primarily. I know at the beginning of this podcast, we talked a lot about my DoD work and whatnot, which is important. I just don't do IT work, so don't reach out to me. If you're not a client of mine, please don't reach out to me for IT work right now. But it's the Google Ads, the website, the Google My Business listing, making sure these free platforms are properly implemented. And when businesses do this, it's a huge difference to their bottom line. A lot, and they start getting leads. All of a sudden, holy crap, this works.
So is it fair to say from my well, I was gonna say to grow the podcast, I was gonna say set up a Google My Business Maps page or a platform.
Whatever they're calling it right now. They changed the name.
I know, I'm using all the names.
It's currently called Business Profile Manager.
Yeah. Okay. I'll set up my business profile manager for the podcast. Like, do I need to have a physical location? You said I don't want to put my home address. I don't really want to put this business's address because then it's going to sit right.
Service area. Just make your local town.
Okay. That's cool. That's cool. Then have my website set up. Like, obviously post my episodes there. I like the idea of like a downloadable link to catch emails. Is collecting emails a really important part of the process?
And if you can't afford a professional website, other than my company, we build WordPress sites. I can go into another 3 hours of why WordPress is the best. It's a lot of businesses, cost. If you can afford it, Wix, GoDaddy is a great platform to start off on.
I was going to say we use Wix. Is Wix still in the ball game at least?
If you're starting out, yes. If you want to grow, no. And I have a blog and a podcast of WordPress versus everybody else on why. I think my assistant made a count. I think in 12 years I've been working, I've consulted or built 8,000 websites, and only 2 were large and successful off of a Wix site.
Okay. Yeah. What do you just give me the give me the TLDR. Why WordPress?
WordPress is the best website when it comes to how the backend is set up and how Google, being Facebook, like to crawl the site and index it. It's very structurally organized on how this is what when it comes to WordPress site versus Wix, you telling Google this is what's important as opposed to these other sections of my site. Don't pay attention to these. And a long story short, so you can quickly rank better online. It gives yourself a little bit of an edge. Some of the biggest companies in the world, Disney, CNN, MSNBC, ESPN, they're WordPress sites.
Yeah, I heard something like 80% of the internet, 70% of the internet's WordPress, some ridiculous amount. Is that true?
That's a very high amount, yes. Some of the best companies and businesses I've ever had the honor consulting with their WordPress sites.
Is it going to be more difficult for me to build a WordPress site? Alex, like, let's say Alex is wanting to do it. I'm not a tech guy. I'm not going to, tell you that I am. Can I still get in there and build a WordPress? That's probably mostly why I did Wix, because it's very just like plug and play.
It is. Yes. It'll take you longer, but there are some great online tutorials that you could pretty much have a WordPress site up and running within 2 hours.
And then drive people to my website to start collecting their email address, presumably.
At the very least, yeah, you want people's email addresses at the very least. At the very least, the data. Where the hell did this person come from?
I see, because I don't even need them to get their email. Yes.
To be marketed directly.
Okay, so that would be something like a free PDF on like the lessons that I learned in 2023 or something like that.
Simple.
I like that. And then from there, is Google Ads appropriate for something like a podcast, or is that just going to be like just really difficult?
Google Ads is very appropriate for a podcast. I would first, however, use YouTube. YouTube has a dedicated system for podcasts. Now, remember, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. It's not a social media platform, and therefore should be treated as a search engine, not a social media platform. There's a difference.
Okay.
So everything you do online on YouTube is indexed and searchable on Google Search, on YouTube, and across their partners as well, like Yahoo and other platforms also. So for podcasting, I would recommend first using YouTube with proper proper titles, proper descriptions, hashtags, links, all the fun jazz. I recommend using TubeBuddy. That's what we use. They're not sponsored this podcast, but TubeBuddy is a great system. I think it's like $1.50 a month, and you can start out with them to try them out. And it really helps with the organization of and structure of your podcast channel. And YouTube, what was it? Hang on. I think YouTube surpassed Spotify when it comes to podcast listeners just recently.
I believe that. I believe that to be true.
Yeah, it was very. I can't find. I'm not going to start a podcast and looking for it, but yeah, it's one of the top right now. I'm pretty sure. I think it just surpassed Spotify when it comes to listening podcasts and podcast listeners, because Spotify essentially copied YouTube. I like to say it like that, where you can have video now for your podcast.
Yeah. Well, Tony, man, that was really information dense. I really appreciate it. Is there anything on the Google Ads, analytics, website dev things that we didn't cover that you think is just like really important that people try to fundamentally understand?
Google and Netflix earlier last month just signed a deal together where we know Netflix is going with ads now.
Yep, unless you pay for it.
Let's pay for it.
Pay for without, I guess.
What it is. They just signed a deal, and I'm currently taking the lessons on how to run Google Ads on Netflix.
So will that come through a YouTube video or no?
YouTube video using what's called Display 360, and that's I'm learning about that right now. It's a whole other platform that's paid for Google Ads, but it's going to be an interesting partnership. I'm looking forward to testing that out with our agency, and then writing some case studies about that later on down the road, later on this year.
That sounds really interesting, man. And maybe we'll get you back and we'll learn more about it. Tony, where can people catch up with you, listen to your podcast, catch some more information, potentially become a client if they're in need of the digital services, not the IT services?
Yeah, no IT service. I'm sorry, guys. We are in the midst of talking about spinning off my IT agency to be more public, but as of right now, it's not. But if you want to hire me for Google Ads, analytics, or website design, building maintenance, you just want to listen to my tips and tricks for businesses. Tech Tony, TECTONY, because Google Ads, no H in the tech. I thought I was cool when I was branding myself 12 years ago. So now it's stuck. It is what it is.
Yep.
Just looking me up, Tech Tony or Pathfinder Digital Marketing, you will see me come up in all of our free. Everything is free. We have a weekly newsletter. I update the blog on our website once a week, every Monday. And I post constantly on news articles on LinkedIn. And of course, I have a Facebook page as well. Feel free to follow on any of the platforms like Shrimpball, it really does help keep keep the content free. That's for all small businesses. And these are tips and tricks that any small business can learn that they can implement. I make it purposely to make sure they're either cheap or free, that they can implement the day they listen to me.
So, Tony, is it fair to say that a lot of your day is dedicated to content creation to bring these leads?
My day is dedicated to two things. Yes. One half is content creation. The other half is educational. Yeah. I don't remember my assistant just put together as well how many hours I'm at. It's something ridiculous. In our agency, to keep our partnership with Google, we have to do a minimum of 5 hours a month of continuing education, and we do that within a week. Part of my day is education, like learning platforms, updates on Google, whatever it be. So we know what we can implement with what clients immediately, because Google is always having a beta testing something. So, yeah, you never know what they're going to come up with. So if there's something that's useful, we make sure we implement it with our clients immediately as soon as possible. Like I said, we want to collect that sweet data. And then the other half of my day primarily also as well is content creation. I got my day-to-day stuff as a business owner.
I love it, man. Tony, thank you so much, brother. This was awesome. Really informative for me.
Thank you, Alex. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. Tony, that was great, man.
No, thank you, man. Definitely.
I'm gonna stick on and record my outro here, but this was great, dude. I mean, this was really helpful for me. Maybe I'll catch up with you, and I'm sure I'll have some questions along the path.
Please email me your links, man. I'd love to follow you. I see.
Yeah, they're
your website, themixsolutions.com.
Oh yeah, for sure. You can definitely follow Mix Solutions. That website is pretty. I love it, but at the same time, it also we haven't updated it a ton in 2 years. Man, we are fortunate. Like we have like a lot of business coming in to the point that we're at this point saying no to business or telling businesses like, hey, we don't normally do this, but like we'll take you on, but you have to give us free product. You have to pay for like your onboarding, which we've just never done. It's always been like either hell yeah or hell no. So we're in a fortunate position there, but I know we can do a lot of things on the Google side. And I think what I'm doing with the podcast to me is like primary focus number one. It's a side project, it's a personal project, but at the same time, if this podcast can actually start getting like good amounts of downloads and listeners, people are gonna be like, oh, Alex like knows what he's doing. Wow, that's so crazy. Like I actually have a product that he could help me out with on Amazon.
Nice. I'm super stoked that you have me on your podcast, man. If you found it valuable, please feel free to reach out to me for an update later on, man. I'm sure I'll be here.
Do you do guests on your podcast, or are you just solo?
I am looking to also as well do guests. Ingrid is working on getting me guests and then getting me on a podcast as well. Both ways, yes, both ways.
Well, man, if you want me to come on and talk about what I know about Amazon, like I said, we don't know it all, but we know enough to sell a couple of bucks worth every year. So,
no, I would definitely love that. I definitely need an updated Amazon podcast.
Yeah, for sure. We could definitely talk about that. We do a lot of consumer packaged goods, like a lot of food. That's kind of like our area of expertise, but we have a lot of different products at this point in time.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. I'll make sure you get. What do you need from me besides my links or biography or picture, or what do you need from me?
Don't need much, man. I can find all that stuff. That should be pretty easy. We'll tag you in all of it. We're probably like a couple of weeks away from publishing. Like when I say a couple of weeks, I'll be more specific. We're probably like 4 to 6 weeks away.
That's fine.
We have been publishing one a week. I think we're going to speed up to like 3 every 2 weeks. But we have like a bunch in the hopper at this current moment in time, like pretty much enough to like get us almost to the end of the year. So
would you give me anything from this podcast so I could use it to promote you and my stuff?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, the link to the podcast would be the biggest thing, and then Mix Solutions. So
awesome. I look forward to promoting you on my stuff too, man.
Sweet, brother. I really appreciate you, man.
Thank you. Have a good day, man.
You as well, Tom.